everybody, this is Joe Charter. Welcome to Woodwind Media Group and Joe Charter Music, Coldsaint.com, InfoWin New News. You know, I'm a total media company here in Indianola, Iowa. We're right on the square in Indianola, Iowa, where Coldsaint lives now. And so we're going to do a nice interview of Coldsaint and learn about his music. There's a new song that's just came out today. What is the date today? June?
It is
June 1st.
It was supposed to release yesterday, but it ended up getting to all platforms today. It's called 3 in the Chamber. It's a suicide awareness song. Go check it out.
This is Coldsaint, and tell us where the name Coldsaint came from.
So it's kind of a funny story. The name Coldsaint didn't actually start with a meaning. It ended up adopting one later on. But I thought of the name Coldsaint when I was 12 years old back in 2012, walking my dog, and it was cold outside. And my last name's St. John, for those of you who don't know. And I was trying to think of something to go with St. John, and I was like, Mr. Saint, Dr. Saint. I'm like, man, it's cold outside. I'm like, ooh, Coldsaint. But later on,
easy enough.
Later on, you know, I developed that tragedy to triumph kind of message in my music, and we ended up saying, you know, cold is going to represent, you know, the tragedy, the hardships, and saint is going to represent triumph, meaning you can overcome anything. So now, that's
I love that.
Means.
And, you know, and that's really why I really fell in love with Coldsaint, is because of the passion that goes behind it. You know, I'm a musician that, you know, puts out music that is a message-driven music. And I think from your standpoint, you know, how did you get into music in the first place?
Well, it started just freestyling in my room, but you know, I was terrible, but I thought I was good. But when I was 12, it kind of turned into an outlet for me, and then I got my first taste of hitting the stage when I was 14. I did the Norwalk High School talent show. I ended up winning the whole thing by a landslide, and I did the audition, and I only made it into the finals by 1 vote. And then I switched my song, and I did like this really deep, serious song, and which threw people off because I started off a really hype, normal rap track. But then I switched. I did a deep track, and everybody voted for me. I won.
Right.
And then I was like, this is what I want to do. Fast forward, 2017, I got introduced to a program called Stale, which was ran by Bo James, who is now my manager.
Yeah.
And at the time, Stale was like almost like The Voice. There was like 3 judges on a panel. You come in every Monday, and they critique your showmanship.
Was that in Iowa?
In Iowa? Yeah, it was at Lefty's Live Music.
Oh, really cool.
And
they still do that, I wonder?
We haven't done Stale in a while. You know,
Okay.
I graduated the program. Me and Entre Luce were the only 2 artists out of hundreds of artists to graduate. And it just kind of died down. I think about starting to back up, though. I might start judging some Stale contests again. But
really cool.
That's how I got my take into the music industry. Bo James ended up taking me under his wing, taught me everything I know about the music business, and put me on game.
Yeah. What was do you remember the name or the first song you ever wrote, like that you ever put together?
So, yeah, it's a song I wrote about a girl that cheated on me when I was like 13.
Oh, shoot.
And I hope that song,
Right.
I can't even say I hope it's not floating around. It's floating around. It's got to be. A lot of people downloaded it back in high school. That was back before Coldsaint was a clean rapper. So
Right.
But I was 13 years old. That was my first single. It went all over the high school.
Yeah.
I was pretty mad, as you could imagine. So
Right. Yeah. So the first song that, you know, when you got into music in general, you know, and Bo became your manager, when did that happen and how did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was doing the Lefties thing over with Stale, and I was consistently coming in with 10 people to work with me and my team. When we bring you in, we go, you need 10 supporters. Prove to me you got 10 supporters. So what they did at Stale is like, you need to sell 10 tickets every week. And so I was consistently coming in with 10 people, sometimes 20. I was really grinding. And Bo saw that. And he was like, all right, this guy's about his business. And he brought me back to his house. And I was having like these 8 to 10 hour meetings twice a week. I was there all night. And Bo would be falling asleep mid-conversation because he'd be just up trying to give me all the game. And he's like, falling asleep, man. It was great. I ended up getting home at like 3 or 4 in the morning. But after a bit, I showed consistency. I showed dedication. I showed that I'm willing to be coachable. Yeah. And Bo brought out the management contract, and we just kept going from there. Things got serious. We started a record label together. I ended up touring around the world. Right. And now, fast forward to now, I've done like 600 shows since then. And
let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about the success that you had leading up to this. And so now you've had some success, and then out there in the digital world, from what I understand, you were around the world. You were in the top what percent of downloads and views and stuff like that?
Well, I don't know the percentile, but I know that I was on the global airway charts for independent artists. I reached 8th place on the independent artist charts worldwide. Okay. That's for radio. That's for radio views. So we got somewhere around 30 million listeners on the radio. And then I also reached 64th place on the mainstream charts. We even passed Adele for a bit. That was pretty cool.
Right.
For about a month.
But it was
and
cool. What song was that you passed Adele on?
Oh, it's those cornbread.
The cornbread.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been pushing cornbread real hard. We gave that all we got. We're about to be doing the Cornbread Festival July 22nd over Riverview Park.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, July 22nd, Riverview Park, everyone. So make sure you write that down on your phone and make a reminder. And I think you can just go to I think there's a Riverview website that should have some information. Yeah, let's talk about then, after you met Bo and everything like that, and all of a sudden, boom, Bo's believing in you because of your energy, because of your commitment. And that's very interesting. It's like people don't understand, music is a work. Even though it is an art, it takes a lot of work. It would be like, becoming an architect, you still have to work. And so your work ethic is good, and you have a natural ability to do music, I've noticed. And so I think do you think there's a special gift that you're given to do music, or do you think anybody can do it, or do you think it's a special gift?
I think with the right dedication, anybody can do it. And I think it comes to some people more naturally. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, I think anybody can do it. But I do believe that this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do, especially when I started getting serious and intentional with my messaging and whatnot. I started to get better, and I feel like, that's what God wanted me to do. I used it as an outlet. I'd be relatable, and now I'm trying to be that dude I needed when I was a kid, and I'm trying to talk to these kids. That's why I do the youth events. Yeah. So I think it is a gift, but I think the purpose isn't just rapping, it's also being intentional and leaving a positive impact.
Right.
And using rap as a vessel to do so.
Yeah. And so your first real successful song was which one? When you first started hitting some charts out there on the alternative music, digital networks and everything like that, what was the first song that started taking off in that? Now, I noticed you did one song called Quarantine, which I liked. I was like listening to that. Of course, I'm pretty much anti-quarantine and all that. Everybody that knows my news organization, but so I liked the idea of it, right? And then I kind of found it on the website, and I was like, wait a minute, what's that about quarantine? But it's pretty cool. I mean, it has a good catch to it. But what was the first song, that really took off out there?
The first song to pop off would have been Cornbread. We kind of put all we had into that. Mm-hmm. Then, right around the same time, I released No Time. That one performed pretty well. And right now, my latest single outside of the one that just dropped, so the one before Three in the Chamber, Rap's Gone Country, we're about to break 100K on Spotify.
Okay.
So that one's doing pretty good too. But I would say Cornbread is taking the cake. So.
Right. So you have a new song coming out. We can talk about that since we're talking music. Let's talk about this new song, and let's get that out there so the public knows. It's coming out and it's here. It's out there on the market right now, and people can download it. People can listen to it, right? So let's talk about that. What's the name of the song? And
so the song is called Three in the Chamber. I was releasing it. It was supposed to be during May, but I was releasing it for Mental Health Awareness Month. It is a suicide awareness song. I wrote it as a tribute to a couple buddies and my little cousin, who we unfortunately lost to suicide. And I've been wanting to drop this song for over a year now. I've been sitting on it, but yeah, I'm excited to finally drop it. Suicide prevention is very important to me. And I really just wanted to release it as a reminder to check on your loved ones, because a simple "how are you" could be the difference between life or death. And I believe that full-heartedly.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Three in the Chamber. So it's a new song out there, and we're going to listen to it right now, just for a little bit.
Lyrical TMG.
Three in the chamber. Don't know what you have until it's gone.
I'm sorry it took me so long to write this, you guys. Forgive me.
Yo, Ro, it's Snowy, your old friend. Wish that I could speak to you again. Look, things ain't been the same since you went. Everybody acting out. This pandemic went crazy and I moved out my house. I stuck it out with rapping and I'm headlining now. I even toured around the world, I really think you'd be proud. Reminiscing to the days that we'd hang. Homie, those were the days. In my mind it replaced. Remember that time when your family brought us to that NASCAR race, and it was raining so your mom gave us ponchos, and they were rainbow colored so this dude was making fun of us, and your mom went mama bear and got hostile. Your parents always treated me like one of their kids. Wish to y'all a second thought, but to me it was big. Bringing me on family bike rides, game nights, birthdays, restaurants, staying the night. It hurts me and it shocks me to believe that you're gone, but life don't wait for nothing, so we keep moving on. But I took the time to write to put you into a song, so at least through people's speakers, bro, your name will live on.
Chamber. Don't know what you have until it's gone. Three in the chamber. Keep the homies living through the song. Three in the chamber.
It's always that person that you never expect. Now there's two in the chamber. The world keeps it moving. I can't believe that you're dead. Hey, Joel.
Wow, great song, amazing, and gosh, I mean, your style is just so unique when it comes down to it. I mean, there's nobody doing exactly the kind of music that you're doing. I don't think I haven't met anybody really, and so how did you become this kind of this country rap? Is it because of your Iowa roots, or is it?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, I just got the one. I guess cornbread. Okay, I've got a couple country rap, I guess. I guess I don't really call it country rap.
What,
yeah, it could be country rap, yeah.
It could be.
I don't know, man. That's just how I lay it down, I guess.
Okay.
We were sitting in the booth. I mean, we were sitting at the office at Hip Hope, and we were like, Iowa needs an Iowa sound. Because, like, Iowa's got this incredible music scene, tons of talent. It's great. It just does not have Iowa sound. We do not. You can't come to Iowa and hear Iowa. You come to Iowa, you hear Chicago, you hear New York, you hear Atlanta.
Yeah.
So Cornbread was my stab at that. And so was Raps Gone Country. I'm just trying some stuff out, really.
Right.
And that's just the route it took us. That's what came out naturally. Now,
Right.
the Raps Gone Country track, my agent called me with this super country beat.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "Can you rap over a country beat, Coldsaint?" I'm like, "Man, I can rap over anything." Send it my way.
So talk about Three in the Chamber, what it means to you real quick. And, as we just listen to the song, and, what do you hope people get out of it?
Three in the Chamber is just my way of showing love to my friends and my little cousin, and making sure they stay remembered. They were really good dudes. You would have never expected them to do it, and you never do expect it when somebody does it, unfortunately. And when I made the song, I was in my feels. I just left my little cousin's wake when I started writing it, and so I was writing in the booth, and it was a dark time. But what I want people to take away from it is, you never know who it's gonna be. Like, these dudes, they're all like hype dudes. They're super hype. Like,
People will look at even me. I'm out there on internet, all doing all kinds of stuff. I've got this news company and stuff, and I have my times. Where I'm a musician. I've been doing this for a long time, and I have my down times. I mean, it's like you said, you really never know who could just all of a sudden throw the towel in. And there's so much good talent and so many good people out there. We have to start encouraging, don't we?
Yes.
And just kind of pick up the phone and say hello and say, hey, is there anything I can do? What do you need? And most people, they don't know how to really react to that, but they're thankful that you called and, you said hello, and this is the things when I'm down. It's like when somebody calls me or texts me and says, hey, are you okay? That I haven't heard from for a while. It's like that makes me feel good, right? So it's like, tell us a little bit more about the song and, what it means, and then we'll move on to another question.
Well, as y'all know, I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a suicide awareness advocate, and I was just venting because I grieve differently. It's almost like when I was making the song, I haven't grieved until I've made the song. Like it's like I've just been sitting on this because when people pass, I'm like, I don't know, I take it differently. Right. Like it's obviously it's sad and it hurts, but it's like when I start putting the pen to the paper, it's like, man, now this just got real. And so that song's always a hard one to perform too because I performed it a few times before it's released, and it's just that one's intense.
Do you like to put the pencil to paper first, pen to paper, or do you like to listen to a beat first, or how did you do this song?
I sit in my studio and I've got like those little cloud lights. Yeah, and I turn it on to red. I like the dark red light.
I like that too. I like for some reason I'm an ambiance guy. It's like I got to have some kind of ambiance.
I got to get the vibe right. I find a beat and then I sit there and I tell everybody to leave me alone. I lock my door and I pull out the pen and pad and I play the beat super loud where I can't hear anything else, and it just plays on repeat, on repeat, on repeat while I write.
Yeah. And, for those listening that are hearing this, the young people your age, I think you're 23 now, what would you say to them to do to get to a point in their life where they have some direction, they have a hobby, they have something to hold on to? Have you had experience, talking to others about this kind of thing? Having to do with music maybe, but maybe somebody's an artist, they paint, and how do we encourage people to understand what this can do for them? I mean, my son's a great painter and he's, that's his release, but it gives him purpose, so do you ever, do you have the opportunity to talk to people about that kind of thing as you're out there?
Yeah, I actually do a bit of consulting with a lot of artists and small business owners, but at the end of the day, anything that you're going to do, whether it's, you're painting, you want to be a game developer, you want to make music, it's a business. Like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Like, it's straight business. It's like 90% grime, 10% shine. Like, if you want it, you can have it. And that's one thing people got to get out of their heads. People always say, oh, it's 1 in a million chance. First of all, this doesn't happen by accident. It never happens by accident. It's a whole team. It takes a team to do whatever it is you want to do, whatever field you're in. I don't care what it is. It takes a team. You cannot do it by yourself. And it takes sitting down and being a student to whatever game it is you're trying to play. So I'd be up all night watching YouTube videos, trying to figure it out. We call it YouTube University, just figuring out new ways to get my music out there. I go out to conferences out in Chicago and Atlanta. We've even hosted a conference down here and brought some dudes out from LA and just sit down and talk about whatever it is we want to get done. You know, like that's how you stay ahead of the curve, is being about your business and being willing to put into that work and be willing to run into failure, because you're going to fail a million times. You're going to keep failing, and it's just a matter of who's more persistent. All right, because if you're only going to fail so many times, you're bound to win at some point. It's over when you say it's over, kind of thing.
Right. So when Rap's Gone Country, that song, when that went out, when that was just released like a couple months ago, but the work that went into that, everything like this, how did that song do? And in fact, we'll play a little bit of that song here after he talks about Rap's Gone Country, because I think that was the last one before 3 in the Chamber, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, talk about that song a little bit, what that song kind of means to you, and what you hope people get out of that song.
Rap's Gone Country was just fun, man. I wanted to do something different. You know, cornbread was kind of out there. That was a very saturated form of what I would consider to be Iowa hip hop.
Yeah.
It's a little corny, pun kind of intended, but like, but it was fun. But Rap's Gone Country, I wasn't even planning on doing a track like that. Like I said, my agent calls me. He's like, I got this rap beat. I got this country rap beat. Can you rap over a country beat? I'm like, yeah, man, I can do that. I can rap over anything. Let me give it a go.
Yeah.
And I ended up drawing inspiration from this one girl I used to see, whose dad didn't like me because I was a rapper.
Yeah.
And did
Right.
not like it when we went out because I was a thug rapper from the mean streets of Norwalk, apparently. Like I don't get it. I've never claimed to be some kind of thug, but it comes with the face of rap, I guess. People just assume that. But
Unbelievable.
But so I was like, man, rap's gone country. I'll go country to get the girl. And I just turned into this little love story.
Yeah.
And
Very
it was
cool.
fun. It was fun filming it with my co-star Jillian Hicks. She was cool. It was a fun song. I mean,
Yeah.
the song did pretty decent too, and a lot of people weren't expecting it. They're like, "What?"
Right.
But it got good responses. It got good responses.
Right. That's great. And yeah, so let's check it out. Rap's Gone Country.
Take a left, avoid construction zones. Can't get through on the pavement. Thinking I don't wanna be alone. I need a country lady. Now I'm driving on a dirt road. Take that exit. Trying to get to you, baby. Ain't nobody ever tell you. Rap's gone country crazy. Look, I'm trying to be with you tonight. Cause you got what I like. Them other girls are cool, but on a real note, they don't do it right. I like them flannel crop tops and them jeans cut at the knees. You the baddest country girl I've ever seen. We got Georgia, we got Cali, girl, you somewhere in between. I can tell you got that Midwest in your jeans. No fancy limousines or designer brand jeans. Just you and me. And I can't lie, I don't get like this usually. It's something that you do to me. When we vibe, and it gets a little better when we ride. Wish we could do this all the time, but we got tonight. Cause tomorrow, babe, I gotta catch a flight. But you know that, right? Take a left, avoid construction zones. Can't get through on the pavement. Thinking I don't wanna be alone. I need a country lady. Now I'm driving on a dirt road.
Yeah, man, great song. I am so proud to be able to have you on this show. You know, a first interview with my aura and what I've built, and having this opportunity, you know, for Woodwind Media Group, and you know, being involved with somebody right here locally in Iowa, and you're living right here in Indianola, Iowa, right now. You know, so here we are, right on the square in Indianola, Iowa. So support Coldsaint, you know, the amazing stuff that he represents. You know, we're doing actually some promotion of NAMI, which is, you know, a suicide prevention, you know, support that. So we're putting out, you know, for your store, for instance, 10% is going towards NAMI. The store you guys can get a hold of is for T-shirts like this and T-shirts like he's got on in the cap and stuff is at coldsaint.com, and then you go to the merch store. And, you know, so when you play live, you seem to sell a lot of merch, you know, so that's good. So, you know, playing live, you know, for an artist nowadays is really important. You know, talk about, you know, how important that is. You know, you've done, like I said, over 600-700 shows. You know, you've put yourself out there. You've really worked. You know, a digital release is one thing, but, you know, going out and playing live, you know, talk about, you know, some of your recent experiences, and then let's talk about some of the future performances where people might be able to catch you if there's some scheduled.
Yeah, doing shows as an artist is incredibly important. Especially from the jump, because you need to be going into all the open mics you can, meeting as many people as you can, finding your supporters, and being memorable. Being memorable is like the most important thing about putting on a show, because especially if you're just an opener, because all these people are going to see you, and they're gonna put you into the puddle with all the other openers until the big act comes on. So you gotta be memorable, do something different. Like Michael Jackson had his glove and his dance.
Right.
Like, you know, like, I go out there, I got a baseball bat. So, but yeah, man, I love doing shows. I love performing. It's one of my favorite parts of the gig.
Yeah.
And the next place to be able to see me at will be June 10th out in Burlington, Iowa. And let me hold up. There's a website you can go and check out the information.
Right on.
It's
June 10th.
burlingtonriverfront.com. You can check out the information. I'm going to be there June 10th. And it's free.
And how
Get in.
how long do you usually play for? Or do you get up there and play or sing or whatever? And
Normally like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I'll be doing
Pretty short
30,
shows,
and
at this point. You've got 4 songs, I think, now really that are really on the market or out there, being distributed. And so you're building up that. So 3 in the Chamber, everybody, support that. We've got Rap's Gone Country, obviously. Great song. You've heard a little bit of this, and both of those songs on the podcast or on this interview. And, going forward, I wish you all the luck in the world, and I want you to be who you are and keep helping people and, keep doing what you're doing because, the energy that you're putting out, in these songs and in everything that you are as a person, because I've gotten to know you a little bit, obviously. We spent some time together and, not a lot, but we've spent some time together. And, but, we've talked about things, I'm an older musician and we've talked about, how you feel about, going into the future, what that looks like to you. We've talked about that kind of thing. So going forward in this life, we have music, and music is inspirational. Music is artistic, expressional, right? And so we continue on. And so your energy is going to be out there. And so I'm excited to be part of your team, and help you out however I can. And Woodwind Media Group is just a company that I've put together for many years, and we can support a lot of different art. And so we hope to continue doing that in the future. If anybody out there in the audience that's watching this podcast and you need mentoring, I mean, Coldsaint's here for you. I'm here for you. This is what we can do. I know he's learned a hell of a lot when it comes down to the work ethic of being a musician or an artist or anything that you want to do on a full-time basis and possibly make a living at. It is not easy, and you can talk all you want about, how good or how bad you are or anything like that, but it's the work really that you put in. Because I've seen some pretty bad artists that have made it pretty big because they've really worked hard, and so there's that. So very interesting. Any final thoughts for the audience?
Don't forget to come out July 22nd to Riverview Park,
right,
and come check out the Cornbread Festival.
Right here in Des Moines, Iowa, everybody. So if you're listening to somewhere in Iowa, make sure you get here on June 22nd. Come in, have a little vacation here in Iowa, and check out Coldsaint. The Riverview Park is it's a new venue that they built last year, it was finished about 2 years ago. And so I think last year they had a bunch of bands out there. It's a big open area with a stage and everything like that out, in the country kind of, but in Des Moines. But when you're out there, it kind of looks like you're in the country. You can, you've got.
Oh, you're surrounded by that that lake. It's got
Yeah,
like
the
a moat
lake
built around the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
So-
the stage is dope, so I'm excited to hit that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I should be out there. So make sure you guys get out there on June 22nd. And welcome to Coldsaint.com. Check it out.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
However I want, high as the kite, but I don't need a blunt. Cornbread is how you should address your boy. Midwest fresh and we making noise. Hey girl, are you cornbread fed? If so, let me take it to the crib. I got black corn, white corn, skinny corn, fat corn, tall corn, small corn. Hear what I said? I was corn in the born. Wait, I mean I was born in the corn. I was cornbread. Yeah, I see you got a girl, but is she cornbread fed though?
With cream on the outside, she cornbread, feeling super thick kind.